and hello. This is an unusual Wednesday stream for me. I have taken off the day from work because it is my half birthday. Yay! I am very old indeed and a half. Uh, yes, basically, I can never take my actual birthday off because of work deadlines. And so I have decided now I'm going to celebrate the half birthday. Woohoo! So, yay and happy half birthday to me and to everyone here. So, thank you so much. Today we are going to be playing Andromeda 6 because I was going to continue with Wildermyth, but apparently there's something weird with the last battle that we played. I have played it through 4 times now, and it crashes every single time and does not save, which is incredibly annoying and not fun to watch on stream. Hopefully, I will be able to get that sorted out, and if I'm lucky, then maybe we will be able to get through the battle off stream and possibly save Rigskider, which is wonderful. Oh, thank you, Lexi. Thank you, Alexia. Hi and welcome. I'm so glad to see you. I love you too. Thank you for the resub. That is, oh my gosh, 4 months already. Wow. I, it feels like I've simultaneously been streaming with subs for only like a few weeks and also forever. I don't know. It's one of those weird time is completely fake things. But yes, time flies. It really does. And also drags. And it's time is unreliable and a liar, I think. But I was just saying that I'm not playing Wildermyth until I can get the battle straightened out, make it through the complete battle without it crashing at the end. Don't know what's going on, but I'll figure it out somehow. And in the meantime, we have Andromeda 6, which is an indie game. It's a visual novel, dating sim sort of thing in space. It should be interesting. You can basically date anyone of whatever gender or species happens to be available and appeal to you. Uh, I think, as far as I've only played a little bit of it, but most of the species available seem to be humanoid. So there is that. Oh, Stream CCs is working on your mobile. Yes, excellent. I am glad that that's actually working this time. Um, yeah, the closed captioning is somewhat unpredictable on occasion. Sometimes it works beautifully, sometimes it doesn't work at all. Sometimes it works, but it claims that I'm saying things that I'm really not saying. So, yes, okay, good. I'm glad. And I'm glad it's working on mobile for once. Yay. So that is always encouraging when tech works the way it's supposed to. I had to reset both my camera and my microphone in OBS for some reason because it was just like, nope, that microphone and that camera that you always use, no, those don't exist anymore. Oh, you mean those? Oh, right, okay. So, just part of the joy of OBS. And I have my coffee, even though I shouldn't technically be drinking coffee after noon, but at this point, I don't care. And I will probably need the coffee. Oh, oh, Fiji. Oh, thank you so much. I I appreciate that so much, and you're a wonderful person. And I was just actually talking up your mad computer skills to Jasnitz. So yes, always. I mean, even though obviously your computer skills are not the only reason that we like having you around, but because you are a charming and wonderful and generous and just delightful person anyway. But also wise. If it's a computer thing, you know about it. And that is highly, highly impressive. I can sort of muddle through stuff, but as far as actually, you know, making the computer dance the way I want it to. Oh, well, okay. Any of them were delightful, but, well, okay, the equivalent thereon too. I don't know how to say delightful in Greek. Um, I'm sorry, I can read the Greek alphabet, but most of my Greek, unfortunately, is word roots in English. So, but but I'm sure many people have been thinking that you're delightful, though, even if they haven't said it out loud. Mm. But in the oh, right back at you, Vici. And I have such wonderful friends. We're all so delightful. And on that note, speaking of delightful people, we should probably start the game. This is the starting screen lineup of all of your potential lovely people, potential dates, potential loves, or not. If if it's basic, if this game goes the way that my dating sims usually do, I will probably not wind up with anybody because dating sims tend to say that let's just be friends. But we have the general array of dangerous person who's standoffish, general nice fluffy person, feisty person, official person in charge, nice relaxed guy who knows, or person who knows how to do stuff, um, and I believe the tech person, and then the empathic gentle person. So let's see. Okay, we are starting a new game. Start. Warning: photosensitivity and epilepsy seizures. Very small. Okay, very small percentage of individuals may experience epileptic seizures or blackouts when exposed to flashing lights in the game at some point. So I should probably do a content warning. I forgot to do a content warning before this. I apologize. I'm not super familiar with this game. I've played it a little bit months ago, but they have since come out with additional chapters and finished the game. So I don't know what's going to be in those newer chapters, and I don't recall. Stream goes to audio only mode. Oh, um, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Fuchi. Um, I don't. I don't think that it's. Yeah, I don't think it's a major thing, but yeah, better safe than sorry. I do apologize. I did not remember that, but I'm glad that they have the warning up. I don't. Yeah, probably I will not get to any flashy bits later today. But yes, so much better safe than sorry. I do apologize. I'd completely forgotten. Well, but I should have remembered that th- that this game has that. Um, but again, thank you to the developers for the warning, because forewarned is forearmed, and my camera is cutting off the top of my head. I'm going. Excuse me. One moment, please. Scoot. Is that there? Okay. You can sit up. Okay. I no longer have to crouch and hunch. Okay, so we need to enter our name. I'm going to go with Molly, and I'm going to go with they, them as my pronouns. I always love it when a game gives you options. Now we get to choose our species. Talari, a gentle and intelligent alien race dedicated to their medical studies and nurturing way of life. Human, the most populous of all species, renowned for their scientific advances in engineering. Or Catalfin, a humanoid race gifted with the ability to live both on land or water. This unique species easily adapts to their chosen habitat. And you get gills. I like the gills. Um, and so I'm okay. Well, okay. Thank you for bearing with us, Frici, and I'm glad that you're still able to listen. That makes me happy. I'm thinking. I don't know that the species has a particular bearing. I think previous in my previous dabblings, I played Catalfin because I wanted the gills, but maybe gentle and intelligent alien race No, I want the gills. We're going to be the amphibious species. Episode 1, Error 404. My eyes crack open slowly, one, then the other. It's a heaviness that's settled behind them, and I squint as they adjust to the fluorescent lights hanging overhead. With a low groan, I manage to push myself up on my elbows, surveying my surroundings clumsily. A small room, metal walls, a desk, 2 doors positioned opposite me. A couple of empty crates sit stacked in one corner, and overall the room gives off the impression of being unused. No personal belongings, no decoration. It's all quite bare. I want the gills. Well, if you could have gills, why wouldn't you? Come on. I panic for a moment, my mind racing through all the possible reasons there could be to explain my being here, in this place I don't recognize, with no memory of how I got here. Am I in a cell? I push myself into a sitting position, my body feeling like an entire building has fallen on it. The mattress beneath me, though soft enough to be comfortable, does nothing to soothe the ache that is settled in my muscles. My eyes flick over the small room once again, eyebrows dipping in confusion. There's something else. Whirring. I feel it, almost as much as I hear it. Oh, hi, Knight! Welcome! Thank you for popping in. I hope you are doing well. We are just starting the new visual novel, or new to me-ish, visual novel Andromeda 6, and we've just woken up in a mysterious room that has a whirring. Is the room moving? My breath sticks in my throat, panic and confusion rising in me like a wave. Oh, and also, since you were not here when the game warned us about this, there may be flashing lights at some point. So photosensitivity is something to watch out for. You may need to cover the screen, pop out, whatever. Just be forewarned. There may be flashing lights, possibly in today's stream, possibly not. I have no idea where in the game they appear. So just be forewarned. Where the hell am I? And why can't I remember anything? The door opposite me hisses and shifts, sliding back into the wall as it opens. And something in me turns defensive, pulls my knees up to my chest. Okay, voice. Oh, I didn't know you were awake. The man that enters is so tall his head almost touches the top of the doorframe. Apologies, I should have knocked. He offers me a tight smile, and the metal chair beneath the desk scrapes across the floor as he pulls it out, sitting and leaning forward with his arms rested on his knees. How are you feeling? He looks at me expectantly, and though I refuse to let my guard down so easily, an answer escapes me anyway. Fine, thanks, or I feel horrible. I'm... Oh, my music is a bit louder than mine. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry, I just noticed that. How about that? I apologize for not seeing that. Game stream is pretty loud. Yeah, sorry. Oh, hi Jazzy. Welcome. Thank you for popping by. It's always good to see you. And Thank you. And oh, and Andy, hi. Welcome. I hope you are doing well. It's good to see you. And we're just sorting out the game sound versus me sound. Is that um I hope that might be slightly better. Maybe. I've cranked it down and cranked down the game sound and cranked up me sound in OBS. So hopefully I will not be drowned out anymore. So sorry about that. I am inclined toward being honest, so I feel horrible. I look the man over, from his gentle half-smile to his casual posture. My gaze falls nervously upon the pistols strapped to his body, but there's nothing in his demeanor that suggests he intends to use them. Oh, and for any newcomers, be forewarned, please, that this game does have a warning for flashing lights. So if you are photosensitive, please practice self-care as much as possible. I do not know more about the flashing lights other than they may pop up at some point during the game. So, protect yourself, please. And he certainly doesn't look like he's here to harm me. Okay. I don't know what happened to me, but whatever it was, I don't think it was much fun. Oh, sorry to hear that. He chuckles softly, and I find myself thinking there's something I like about his voice. Something warm. I was worried about you after. His eyes flicker a little, almost as though he would take back those words if he could. After what? The awkward silence that follows is noticeable, his hesitation hanging thick in the air. Something happened. Something big. And somehow, I can't remember what. Though, even in the face of such uncertainty, one thing is abundantly clear. Whether I can trust the man in front of me or not, I need answers. Who are you or where am I? Who are you seems reasonable. Who are you, anyway? He hesitates only a moment before something unseen inside him shifts. I'm June. This ship we're on is the Andromeda 6, the finest cruiser around, and my home. At least for the time being, anyway. June pauses before saying any more, his brow furrowed in thought. What can I call you? I open my mouth to tell him, but stop short when no memory of my name surfaces. Who am I? I have a name. I feel it there, on the tip of my tongue. But every time I reach out, it escapes me. Not sure. June frowns, and I can't keep the worry from bubbling up inside me. I should be able to remember something as simple as my own name. Closing my eyes, I try to coax the memory to the forefront of my mind. I can almost feel it on the tip of my tongue, and I know it's close, hidden behind the mist in my mind. Nothing. I can't remember. My throat tightens at the realization. Not knowing where I am is one thing, but not knowing my own name? All the names that cross my mind feel foreign, not one of them standing out as mine. Panic begins to crawl into my lungs, contracting my throat, leaving me gasping for breath. Hey, don't panic. Look at me. June pulls his chair closer to the bed, his eyes locked on mine. He takes a deep breath in through his nose, releasing it slowly through his mouth. With a hand, he gestures for me to do the same. After a few breaths in and out, my muscles seem to unknot a little, reason returning to me. Now close your eyes and relax. Just keep breathing through it. I'm hesitant, but I follow his instruction. Rolling my shoulders a little, I close my eyes and let out a deep, shuddering breath. I know my name. It's here somewhere. Don't try to force it. Focus on clearing your mind, calming it. Let it come to you. His voice washes over me like a balm, soothing and healing my fractured nerves. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Ever so slowly, my mind empties, the darkness it leaves behind like an endless abyss, waiting to be filled. After a few more moments, something clicks into place, like the download button in my brain has regained power once again. Trying to hold all other thoughts at bay, I part my lips and speak the one word that hangs like a neon light in the back of my mind. Molly. Molly, that's my name. A breath of fresh air washes through my lungs. My frustration from earlier receding a little. I try to push a little further, a last name, even my home. But the more I try, the more the black hole of my memories sucks me into nothingness. Nothing comes to mind, not even the slightest inkling. Oh, hi, Chrono. Welcome. I hope you are doing well today. And we are in just starting out with the visual novel Andromeda 6. This game does come with a flashing lights warning, so be aware of photosensitivity if and practice self-care as needed, please. But we are glad to have you here. So far we've just woken up in a bare room, and have been talking to someone named June, trying to remember our name. I decide not to push it anymore for now. My first name will have to do. Slowly, I open my eyes again, a smile tugging at my lips as my eyes fall upon June and that contagious, lopsided grin of his. I'm Molly. June grins wider, and it's one of those smiles that reaches his eyes, wrinkles the skin beside them. It's a pleasure to meet you, Molly. Do you remember anything else? I search my mind, every darkened crevice and corner, but come up short. No. June lets out a sigh, as if it burdens him to be the one to tell me whatever comes next. There was an attack on the palace at Siltavie. We found you unconscious nearby. The bridge had collapsed. Well, it had been destroyed, actually. Our medic healed what she could, but we never expected memory loss to be a factor. Perhaps you lived around the area? Does any of this sound familiar to you? I shake my head. I recall the city of Siltavie, capital of the planet Goldis. But did I live there? Do I have a life there? Or a family waiting for me? My mind seems bathed in darkness, coming up blank with each attempt to remember my past. I'm sorry. I remember the city, but nothing past that. June ducks his head, thinking for a moment. It could be some sort of short-term memory loss. We'll have our medic look over you again. If you remember where you're from, we can help you get back there. There must be someone waiting for you. There isn't. The words leave my mouth before I can stop them. But somehow I know it's true. And even if it wasn't, what good would it be if I can't even remember them? June shifts in his chair, but I cut in before he has the chance to say more. All I know right now is my name. I have you to thank for that. The start, right? I chew on my bottom lip anxiously, feeling his eyes flicker over me. I know the thought of forgetting everything should be terrifying, but for some reason I feel calm or worried. Not Let's see. Calm or worried? Worried is rational, but I'm kind of inclined toward calm. Just for fun. Calm. At peace with whatever's happened to me. I don't know. Maybe it's a sign. An opportunity for me to make a fresh start. I still want to remember something. Anything. But I could be on the run for all I know. Exiled, even. Better to avoid that kind of trouble, don't you think? An uneasiness settles in my stomach, and I think that perhaps I'm more shaken up than I've let on. The only consolation is that June seems even more concerned than I am. His eyes go wide at my words, and I can practically feel the concern dripping from him. I'm sorry. We should get you to the medic. She'll be able to help you far better than I can. She's Talari. Perhaps you remember their reputation? Indeed. Talari are exceptional healers, though I can't recall ever meeting any of the species before. June offers his hand to help me stand, and when I take it, his skin is surprisingly warm, stark contrast to the cold metal walls of the room around us. Despite the roughness of his skin, the calluses on his fingers, his touch is gentle. For a moment, I think I'm okay to stand on my own, but when I let go of his hand, my legs buckle beneath me. Letting out a yelp, I'm hit with the sense of falling for only a split second before a strong arm wraps around my waist, holding me up. Molly, are you all right? I'm okay. If you wanted to get closer, you could have just asked, or if you wanted to get closer, you could have just asked is not really going to be. Yes, this year wholesome. I think I'm torn between the I'm okay or I flirt. Because if you wanted to get closer, you could have just asked. Okay. Let's go with the I flirt. June is close. Very close. A warm flush creeps up the back of my neck, and I find myself falling into deep grey eyes. Nice catch. Nice catch. Wow, Molly. Seriously? Okay, that one was more realistic. Nice catch? I've never heard that one before. June laughs, and the sound of it only makes my face flush a deeper shade of red. Oh, I like the little expression lines there. Sorry. Don't be. That blush looks good on you. If I had thought my cheeks were hot before, now they're straight up burning. I don't think I could string a proper sentence together even if I tried. Luckily, June flushes too, and I'm relieved knowing I'm not the only one. Helping me steady myself, his hands linger on my waist a second or two longer than they need to. But the way my stomach flutters in response makes me realize that maybe I don't mind that after all. Okay, there we had a little flash. That may have been an example of what they were talking about. Sorry. I'm cut short when the lights above us blink a couple of times and the ship lurches, prompting June to steady me with a hand on my arm once again. What was that? Just technical issues. What kind of technical issues? The last thing I need is to be stranded on a broken starship with no memory. One crisis at a time, thank you very much. June smiles at me reassuringly. Nothing to worry about. Come on, I'll show you the infirmary on my way out. I follow behind June down a couple of corridors. The ship isn't massive by any means, but it certainly seems bigger than I expected. When he stops in front of a set of blue, transparent double doors, he turns to me. This is where I leave you. I should probably get to the bridge before all hell breaks loose. The alarm must show on my face because he shakes his head and chuckles softly. Nothing to worry about. Now, head on in. Riona will take care of you. Thank you, June. He stops and gives me a strange look, his eyes wide. But just as quickly, he smiles gently and nods before disappearing down the corridor. When I enter the infirmary, as cautious and quiet as a rabbit avoiding a trap, the first thing that hits me is the smell. It smells clean, but not in that sterile medical way. More like dewy grass and fresh rain, like the open air and sky. It reminds me of a cool spring morning, though I can't recall having ever experienced one. It's almost homely. Let's see, oh, you're awake. The voice that startles me is surprisingly soft, and my head tilts to follow the sound. She's Talari by the looks of her luminescent skin, her primal yellow eyes. I'm Riona. It's good to see you finally. It's good to finally see you up and about. You've been looking after me. She smiles, and there's something so soft, so calming about it, that it soothes right down to my bones. I'm reluctant to let my guard down so easily, but her soothing presence hardly inspires fear. Yes, I'm the medic here. And your name is? Molly. Pleasure to meet you, Molly. Please, take a seat. Let's have a look at you. She gestures with long, thin fingers toward the medical chair. It's positioned in the center of the room, and I follow her instruction, noting the plastic that crinkles beneath me as I sit. So, how are you feeling? Physically, I think I'm okay, but I hesitate, and she cocks her head to the side, watching me curiously and giving me time to get my thoughts in order. I haven't been able to remember much besides my name. I see. Riona grabs a long silver wand from a metal table and holds it in front of me. May I? I nod, and she lights the tip with a swish, shining the blue lights on the end into my eyes, one after the other. I suspected you had a concussion when they brought you in here. It would hit your head rather hard. I cleaned it up and lasered the wound back together, but I'm afraid there's not a lot I can do for memory loss. Her fingers are cool against my scalp, where she inspects the old wound next, giving an approving hum at whatever she finds there. Have you noticed any issues with your vision or coordination? The silver wand is pressed gently inside my ear before Riona pulls it back out and inspects the strange illuminated symbols on the side. When I first got out of bed, I lost my balance. Since then, apart from the memory thing, I've been feeling fine. Riona holds the wand in front of my face vertically, and a blue light washes over me, blinking for a few seconds before it dissipates entirely. When I follow her gaze to the screen behind me, the images have changed, depicting a series of numbers and icons I can't understand. Your scans are almost back to normal, aside from some bruising here and there. That's to be expected. She stands back and inspects me. Her nose crinkles slightly in thought. Physically, you're healing well. If you've already remembered your name, my best guess would be a mild case of retrograde amnesia. Oh, yes, exactly, Lexi. They're all extremely adorable, even the cranky ones. And so trying to choose someone to pursue is difficult. Amnesia? Yes, it's more common than you may think following a head injury, though I can't say that every patient heals in the same way. It will heal. I will remember, won't I? Fiona gives a sad smile, and in that moment I know she's just as unsure as I am. Only time will tell. Perhaps if I ask you some questions, they might trigger a memory. It's worth a shot. Let's see. Where did you live? I don't know if there's a polycule option, Alexia, but if there is, we will find it. I suspect there probably isn't. There often is not in these games, but hope springs eternal. Where did you live? I don't know, or in a big city. I would like to live. Okay, I think we're going to go with a big city. I know. A city. At least, I think so. The images are hazy, but when I really think about it, I get flashes of a golden sky, clouds stretching as far as I can see. That's a good start. Do you see anything else? I close my eyes, like I did earlier with June, and try to remember more. White, gold, and water. No, fountains. There were fountains everywhere. That sounds like Goldis, all right. The planet gets its water source from tunnels deep below the Earth. The fountains make it accessible to everyone. Oh, I'm so sorry that your code is taking so long to run, Lexi. Yeah, it feels like the computer sense when you're in a hurry, or when you think, oh, this will only take hydrate. Excellent, thank you, good timing. Thank you very much. They sense when you just need this one last thing to be wrapped up, and then it shouldn't take long, and then of course it does. Let's see if you remember anything else. Do you have any siblings? Don't know. I shake my head slowly. Still, nothing comes to mind. I don't know. Fiona frowns, and it's not the most encouraging sight. I see. Don't push yourself too hard. We can try again later. I nod and glance around the room. Once again, I'm hit by that smell. I notice now that there's something else mixed into it. Something sweet, almost fruity. Can I ask what the smell is? Oh, it's my mister. Fiona gestures to a small cylinder-shaped object in the corner of the room. I can program it to replicate scents. This one is of my home planet, Tilarin. She giggles unexpectedly, as if she didn't mean to say that. I guess I'm a little homesick. I've heard Tilarin is beautiful, or you must miss your family. Family could be tricky, but Tilarin sounds like a safe topic, because we don't know if she is on good terms with her family. I've heard Tilarin is beautiful. I mean, I'm not sure how I know, but I'm sure it is. Fiona smiles fondly, and I get the impression she's envisioning her home in her mind. You're right, it is. Crystal water, clear skies, green stretching as far as you can see. And dotted all over the planet are enormous spires, towers that disappear high into the clouds. Each spire can hold an entire city, hospitals, schools, homes. People think that gold is the shining star of the system, but Talaran is the real jewel. It's more beautiful than this hunk of junk anyway, but don't let the captain know I said that. Why did you leave? She smiled sadly, and I can't help but to feel a little of the emotion myself, sinking into my skin like dew. I wanted to help the people that no one else would. Okay, that's kind of you flirty. Was it worth it, flirty, or and did you? I think for this game, this playthrough, I'm going to flirt with as many people as possible, which goes completely against my instincts. But I will need assistance sometimes choosing between the flirt options, because my instinct is to say, oh, and have you been able to help? Was it worth it? Was the kind of you? I don't really like, was it worth it? But, okay, I'm going to roll a die. Why not? Because, okay, odds number 1, evens number 2, and 7 is an odd number, so that's kind of you. I don't know of many people who would do such a thing. It's very kind of you. I thought it would be, but not all good intentions are welcomed. Her face changes, that sadness I've seen glimpses of every now and then, coming to the surface once more. I'm not sure what possesses me to do so, but I lay my hand on her arm in comfort, feeling the cool surface of luminescent skin beneath my fingers. Seeing her like this stirs something in me, some urge to do something, anything, to see her smile again. I'm sorry to hear that, but if it helps, I'm very grateful to you for taking such good care of me. Her lips curve upwards, and there's something beautiful about the softness of her eyes, the pink blush across her skin. Thank you. But I'm simply doing my job. You needed help. I couldn't just leave you. You could have, but I'm glad you didn't. Oh, another flash. Sorry. The ship lurches violently, and Fiona and I grab hold of the chair, fixtured securely to the floor, to keep ourselves from flying across the room. What was that? Probably just a gas cloud. Our pilot is usually good at avoiding them, but sometimes the autopilot veers us too close. Well, we're all done here. Best if you go back to your room and get some rest. Your body hasn't fully recovered. Oh! Hi, Ned. Welcome. Thank you for popping in. I hope you are doing well. We are playing the visual novel Andromeda 6, a dating sim in space. And I should point out that there are game warnings for flashing lights. So if there's any photosensitivity, please exercise self-care or practice self-care. And otherwise, so far has been a cute and warm and fuzzy and wholesome little game. We'll see if that continues, though. We are a character on the ship with no memory other than of our name. Okay. Do you think you can find your way back on your own? I'm sure I'll manage. Okay, then. I'll bring you some food and fresh clothes in a little while, and check in on how you're doing. I exit the infirmary, heading back in the direction June and I had come from. At least I think it was this way. Oh good, I'm going to get lost on the ship, which is entirely something I would do. As I continue walking down the corridor, I realize that all the doors look the same. Of course. Maybe I should have asked Fiona to show me the way after all. The corridors are all metal walls and elaborate circuitry, fluorescent lights evenly spaced, hanging from the ceiling, the occasional patch holding metal sheets together. Ooh. Oh, that sounds cool. Busy day at work with a nice afternoon planned for development of your school program. Well, that sounds intriguing, actually. And a chance for bringing in new ideas, I hope, and some space for creativity. Fingers crossed, at least. Although, if it's anything like the committees that I've been on, less so, but we shall say no more about that. And I look around for some kind of sign, but find nothing, stopping only when I come to the next door. It's larger than the rest of them. It must lead somewhere important. After debating my choices for about a minute too long, I suddenly realize there's nothing to lose if I end up walking into the wrong room anyway. So you say. Yep, this certainly isn't where I'm meant to be. I should probably leave, though I can see the edges of a window behind a stack of crates against the wall, and it draws my curiosity. This must be the docks. The boarding area should be around here somewhere, which means the view from here must be breathtaking. Making my way past the crates, I'm now facing a large window, the vast, dark abyss of the universe laid bare in front of me. And I count the stars as we pass, and I wonder if I'm truly from Goldus. Somewhere out there, the answers wait for me. I'm sure of it. Somewhere in the system lies the key to my true self. I'm sorry, I just can't say lays the key. My only fear is whether it's a good idea to chase the ghosts of my past, or leave them buried where they are and start anew. Let's see. Well, look who's up and running. I clutch at my chest as I jump at the voice, turning to find the source. Relax, kid. I'm not gonna... Holy shit! Is that what all the racket is down here? He steps up to the door, peering through the small window with a look of mild irritation. When he steps back again, he swears under his breath. This is not good. The captain's gonna flip his lid when he hears there's a hole in the cargo hold. A hole in the what? Is it safe for us to be here? He paces a few steps, looking at the door nervously before turning to me. That door is airtight. I'm more worried about the Litalis supply. When I don't say anything, his lips pull into a tight line. Small fruit? Only grows on Talaran? I shrug my shoulders, and he lets out a defeated sigh. Doc gets cranky without her special fruit, and you do not want to see her when she's cranky. Come on, let's head to the bridge. We can chat on the way. He turns briskly, and I debate running in the opposite direction and hiding in my room before I think better of it, and I'm forced to jog to catch up with him. Even though his posture seems tense, the curve of his lips suggests otherwise. I'm Bash, by the way. Got a name? Molly. Pleasure. So, Molly, how the hell did you end up in the middle of the coup in Goldus? A coup? I don't remember. You don't remember how you got there? I don't remember anything. Well, except my name. June helped me with that. Good old June, huh? He thinks for a moment before speaking again. Well, that's brilliant. Think about it. Not every day you get to make up a brand new identity. You want to pick a new name? If you do it quick, I won't tell anyone you swapped it. Not that there's anything wrong with the one you've got, but think of all the choices. stare at him, a little stunned, and after a moment or two his face drops in realization. Unless... Oh, you're not happy about all this? Oh, shit, I'm sorry. Sometimes it takes my head a few seconds to catch up with my mouth, you know? It's fine, or say nothing. It's fine. Not a big deal. Nope. Apparently using the mouse wheel means go back to your previous option. It's fine. I smile at him. There's something addictive about his energy. The way he seems to be almost bouncing on air with each step. It's fine. To be honest, I don't know how to feel about it yet. It's an odd feeling, not knowing. Oh, it feels like nothing different than a normal meeting. Only here you try to think about ideas to do some new things during lessons with lots of new resolutions. To your experience, 9 out of 10 will never be looked at again after the meeting. Yeah, that's a committee brainstorming session. Yeah. I feel your pain. May the force be with you, for sure. Because that can be fun, can be extremely exhausting. It's fine. To be honest, I don't know how to feel about it yet. Wait, I've already done this. Okay. I should be feeling something, right? But I don't know. It's confusing. I get it. There's nothing like falling on your ass to make you feel like nothing in STEM world makes sense anymore. If it's any consolation, I've been there once or twice myself. He smiles sadly. I have a hard time imagining anything in the world bringing down this bundle of energy in front of me. My eyes drift to the way his tattoos flicker, glowing luminescent under the spaceship's lights, and then to the bionic arm at his side, a network of metal plates and connectors, intrinsically woven together. On closer inspection, I noticed the hastily patched repair jobs and oil-stained bandages holding parts of it together, and I can't keep a smile from tilting my lips. There's something about Bash that fascinates me, something rough and unruly, and I find myself wishing I could learn more about him. I do like his light tattoos. Those are very cool. Do the bionics make you nervous? I snap my gaze to his face, embarrassed at being caught staring. Sorry, hydration break or coffee break. He laughs, and I can't help but feel like he's laughing at me. Never seen bionics before. Your mouth is practically dragging on the floor. No, I've seen them. And I've seen them before. I don't know. Maybe I've never seen them up close. Yeah, the artwork is very cool. I do enjoy that. Oh, that's it, is it? You're hoping for a closer look. Why is my mouse rolling things back? That's annoying. Hoping for a closer look. Not rolling my eyes. We can blush, or so he wants to play. I think Bash is playful enough that I feel okay going with the so you want to play thing. Okay, so you want to play. He waggles his eyebrows at me suggestively, and a grin tilts my lips. Two can play at that game. I stop walking, slowly run a finger over his metal arm, and it's so cool under my fingertips that I almost shiver. Bash watches me warily, but doesn't stop me. Are you offering? He clears his throat, completely caught off guard, and I laugh out loud at the ruffled look on his face, the moment ending. Careful who you're playing with, Tin Man. He smirks, gaining his composure in an instant. Tin Man, huh? Haven't heard that one before. I like it. I prefer Man of Steel, though. I'm curious. Do they give you any special abilities? Bash flexes his bionic arm in front of him, making a fist and relaxing it again. His face is strange all of a sudden, haunted by the ghost of memories past. This is stronger than any old human arm. Faster, too. Crushes steel as easy as a tin can. But the real moneymaker is this. I'm assuming the game is not going to go where I initially thought it was. So, moving on to the moneymaker. Okay, good. It's his eye. He gestures to his left eye, giving me the opportunity to study it closer. So, not where my mind went. So that's good. It's obvious on first glance that there's something different about it. The way it pulses, bright electric yellow, makes his right eye, a dark forest green, seem almost dull in comparison. Infrared sight, X-ray vision, advanced targeting. I instinctively move to cover myself before he laughs heartily, and I stop, dropping my arms to my side and feeling a little foolish. Relax, kid. You'll know when it's activated. It glows red. I laugh at myself, trying to recover from my awkward reaction. And the tattoos. Purely ornamental. Though I like to think they add to my overall formidable appearance. An ungraceful snort escapes me before I can stop it. I hesitate. Everyone is pretty much adorable. Lexi, yes. I hesitate, deciding how to word the question that's poised on my lips without sounding like I'm digging for gory details. How did you end up with them? I mean, if you don't mind my asking. Bash grimaces, and I'm immediately aware of how intrusive I'm being. Sorry, you don't have to answer that. I'll make you a deal. When something worth sharing pops into that head of yours, I'll tell you. I agree, with a nod of my head and a tight smile of my own, falling into step beside him once again. So, what do you think of our humble abode? Ignoring the fact, of course, that there's a great fucking hole in the cargo hold. I can't help but smile at the way Bash seems to flip something as serious as a hole in the spaceship to something of mere inconvenience. I haven't seen much of it yet. No one's given you a tour? The outrage. You'd think they were a band of bloody savages if you didn't know any better. Okay. We're going to let the savages thing slide because he's being sarcastic. Have you met the captain yet? No? Bash gives a scoff of a laugh, then shakes his head in amusement. Oh, we have a hydrate and a stretch and a Scooby Snacks. Thank you, Ari. One hydrate of coffee, but that is good. Thank you so much. And we need to do a stretch. Oh, good morning, Ari. Thank you for showing up. The stretch was a very good idea. Thank you. And the Scooby Snacks that I have with me at hand are Chewies. So the dogs say thank you very, very much. 2 bully sticks. Stinky. Blah. Hey, Mulsey. Thank you very much. Mulsey is under the desk. Yep. Oh, here we go. Would you like a chewy? Sniff? Sniff, sniff. Sniff, sniff. Would you take it? Do you like to take it? Do you like to take it, Tilly? Tilly. Okay, they are investigating. I am putting the chewies, down on on the floor so they can pick the one that they want. And they say thank you very much, Ari. And welcome. Just as a safety note, this game does include some flashing. So if you are photosensitive, please be aware, and if you need to, please cover the screen or take whatever self-protection measures are needed. But we are glad to have you here. Yay! We are still meeting all of the crew on our spaceship. Our character does not know anything other than their name. And so I think we are about to meet, hopefully, some more of the crew very shortly. Let's see, Bash gives a scoff of a laugh, then shakes his head in amusement. I can't say you're missing out. That man's got a vendetta on a scale I've never seen before. Just stay clear of his warpath and you'll be okay, kid. But let's see. Anyone else you'd like to know more about? Let's see, the pilot, Fiona, June, or not really. This should not be locking us in to any particular path at this point because we haven't even met more than... I think we've got 4 more people to meet, and I think the 4th one does not even show up in this chapter, from what little I recall. Let's see. I don't know. Last run. Oh, I hope this is the last run, Lexi. I don't. Let's go for find out more about the pilot because we haven't met them yet. Pilot. There was mention of a pilot? Ah, yes. No, there's a pocket rocket if I ever did see one. Too bad she wasn't a fan of the water tank plans I drew up. Perhaps you'd be more obliging? What I wouldn't give to see a full-blown space mermaid in all their watery glory. Sorry. His mind drifts elsewhere for a moment, and when I clear my throat, he shrugs his shoulders and shakes his head. She'd rather live like a lowly old human. Can't see the sense in that, personally. Okay, good. We get to find out more about everybody then. Then let's find out about Riona. Riona comes to mind. He gives me a look, one I can't quite decipher. Doc is... well, there's plenty I could say about her, but I'll save it for another time. His face changes at that. Becomes softer, somehow. Oh, he likes the doc. And June? June seems nice. The cowboy brought you on board. Has he shown you his guns yet? It won't be long till he's whipping them out. Both sets of them. I'm going to assume that that's not a metaphor, although I really dearly wish it were, but, whipping them out. Okay, just watch out for that pet of his. Sharp teeth and confined spaces are not a good mix, let me tell you now. I have no memory whatsoever of June's pet. This is slightly alarming. Don't ask me how I know that. His pet? You'll know it when you see it. Trust me. You've obviously met me, the most handsome and talented engineer this side of Callias 10, rather. Sorry. I would say that's all you need to know, but I'm sure there was someone else. Why do I feel like I'm forgetting someone? He holds a finger against his lips. I can't tell if he's serious or this is all just for dramatic effect. In space, no one can hear you scream. Exactly. Well, depending on what type of screaming it is, I suppose. Yeah. Worst case or best case scenario, possibly, depending. But we're moving on from that. He snaps his fingers in front of him, grinning at me as we walk through a set of double doors. Oh, we're at the bridge. Oh, yes, the assassin. Says he's a spy, but between you and me, I can see him sneaking up on me from a mile away. In space, no one can hear you fart. That that would be help. Mostly would enjoy that, I'm sure, because lately he has his medication has been making him ever so slightly stinky. It's all right, Ned. Sorry. That's one thing about our community is even if the original speaker does not realize how things could be misinterpreted, someone somewhere in chat is to uh, going to recognize the uh, awkward or suggestive potential and highlight that. Yes. Mm. It's probably partially because I'm drinking coffee way later than I normally do. He leans in closer to whisper the last part, his eyes glinting with an unmistakable mischief. Always lurking in the shadows, playing with his knives. You know, this one time, I swear I saw him. Okay, saw me what? Ah, Damon. Hey, I was just telling the newbie here all about our happy little crew. Delightful. Please, don't let me stop you. You know what? I think I hear the captain calling my name. What's that, Cap? Bash is already halfway across the bridge before I have the chance to say goodbye. Yes, requisite bad boy, yes. Yeah, isn't it lovely how you can just tell from the body posture? Yes, he's the resident cranky pants, yes. Before I have the chance to say goodbye, leaving me standing on my own at the entrance. Well, not quite on my own, as Damon is still leaning nonchalantly against the wall next to me. I spare him a nervous glance, my skin prickling under his cold stare. The way he's looking me over makes me feel I'm not so much a guest on this ship, but his prey. Yes, the resident sunshine. Hecked off like, I gotta go, bye, see you later. I wonder, is he really an assassin? Trying to ignore his unnerving presence, I survey the front of the ship. The room is spacious, control panels spread across the front, 2 seats for the pilot and co-pilot surrounded by a domed window, and the cluster of seats behind them. I duck my head a little to see through the glass up ahead. The view of Spaaaaace is even more breathtaking from here. I've no idea what the planet we're passing in the distance is, but somehow it makes me feel unnervingly small. A tiny, insignificant speck, alone in this galaxy. Yes, the name Damon being quite close to demon does rather help. Yeah. The drifting sound of arguing reaches my ears, and a couple of people I haven't yet met, coupled with June and Bash, pace across the room towards us. One man, his presence ominous, stops them all, his voice booming through the space. Ooh. Oh, which book are you reading, Ari? I'm always in the market for good book recommendations. And, yeah, I mean, yes, I do have a stack of, a couple of shelves of books that are waiting to be read, but can always add to that. The Black Jewels trilogy. Okay, I will write that down. Okay, Black Jewels trilogy. Okay, thank you. I shall investigate and track that down. Excellent. Thank you. Over the whirring of engines and the grind of electronics. I don't think the electronics should be grinding, but oh well. Okay, we'll just just go with that. and the hum of electronics, maybe. I like that better. I can't quite make out what they're arguing about, and I feel a slinking presence beside me, dark and ominous and entirely dangerous. Everyone I've met so far has been welcoming, in their own way, but this man, Damon, Besh called him, feels anything but. My eyes flick to the side, and I know, even before I see, that he's watching me. Introduce myself to the others or hang back? Let's go say hello to the others, and perhaps get a little bit of space between Damon and me. The act of reading books and the act of collecting books are two completely different hobbies. Yeah, this is unfortunately true. There is some overlap, often, but not always. And, having a nice stash of books that are unread is very comforting. Yes, I have both hobbies as well. Hesitant to be caught in the web of whatever Damon is, I decide to introduce myself to the others and find out exactly what all the commotion is about. Could it have something to do with the hole in the cargo hold Bash and I saw earlier? Whatever it is, I'm determined to find answers on what the hell is going on around here and where I fit into it. I take a deep breath, followed by a step, and later falter at the sound of a raspy voice beside me. Oh, he's supposed to be raspy and not nasal. Okay, okay, so I need to change from the nasal to raspy. Raspy. Looks like our little stowaway has lost more than just their memory. You'd be pretty stupid to interrupt that conversation. After almost tripping on my own feet and righting myself at the last moment, I turned to stare at Damon, wide-eyed. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? He grins at me, wide and wolfish, before flicking heavy-lidded eyes toward something over my shoulder. Or maybe that goddamn lizard did. Can't believe they let the cowboy keep that disgusting thing. But when I try to bring a cat aboard, they act like I've committed treason. Damon pauses for a moment, and I find I'm having a hard time deciphering exactly who he's speaking to. Granted, it was a Nilaxian snow tiger, but I fail to see the difference. Still, a fuzzy little thing. Even had big doe eyes. Kind of like you. My face flushes with heat, and I know he's getting to me by the way. And I know he knows he's getting to me by the way his lips curl even higher. His amusement seems short-lived, however, as he clicks his tongue, eyes going dark, pupils blown wide. Preposterous. I blink at him, dumbfounded, and he grins, revealing straight white teeth that glint through the dimness surrounding us. I'm beginning to have serious doubts about the whole assassin thing, until the glint of tarnished metal catches my eye, and I glance warily at the blade balancing idly between his deft fingers. I'm sure you like what you see, but it's rude to stare. Glare, or I'm not staring? Edgy boy, yes. Not staring. Yes, good not to confuse that Satan lives in hell, Satan lives in the kitchen, and Saturn lives in the closet, though. Yes, do not get those three mixed up. Very important. Do I glare? Okay, I'm gonna glare, because he's annoying me. My jaw clenches tight, eyes narrowing into utterly unimpressed slits as they drag over him inch by inch. Who does this guy think he is? glaring is also rude. And besides, I was only trying to help. Didn't think you'd want to face the wrath of our dear captain on your first day aboard. Oh, yay for a break. Let's see, that is wonderful. Oh, right, there we go. Wait, oh, okay, there we go. Sorry, I need to stop. I need to turn off the sensitivity, or turn down the sensitivity of the new mouse wheel, because it keeps changing my dialogue options with for no apparent reason. I don't know how it's possible, but my eyes narrow even further. Damon lets out a long, dramatic sigh, cocking his head left and then right, sizing me up. You know, I expected you to be more fun than this. Guess I was wrong. I start to roll my eyes before thinking better of it. Whatever Damon is, assassin or not, I'm not sure I want to end up on the wrong side of him. Regardless of how I feel about his help. Yes, Tilly, indeed. When the argument between the crew seems to come to a boiling point, I'm almost glad he stopped me. Tilly, you need to knock it off, dear. And let's see. Ooh, okay. It was most likely a bad idea, after all. You're welcome. I wasn't thanking you. Damon laughs, a low, dangerous sound that seems made of shadows, all of itself. When he cocks an eyebrow at me, I almost consider running headfirst into the commotion after all. I can tell when people are lying, you know. Some would call it a talent, some would not. My eyes go wide at this admission, nostrils flaring with unease. It's a gift, being able to read people, what they're thinking, what they desire. Are you talking about telepathy? His smug expression falters, and I would have felt triumphant had I not been busy internally debating if he was actually capable of such a thing. Not that there's anything in my mind to worry about him finding. It's just, privacy, He clicks his tongue at me impatiently, disappointed that I would even ask such a question. Don't be ridiculous. There's no such thing. It's just something I'm good at, reading people, figuring out what makes them tick. Telepathy? Bullshit. I call it a life skill, an invaluable one at that. Damon folds his arms over his chest, that infuriating, half-cocked grin sliding onto his lips once again. And how is it that life gives someone that skill? You always say telepathy? I have always heard it telepathy, but that could be a regional pronunciation. I'm not entirely sure. But it's not a word that I hear spoken all that often either. But yeah, that word at least. As long as we all know what we're talking about, all is good. No, that's none of your business, is it? I realize quickly that despite the tilt of his lips, there's something strange about his eyes. Something cold, calculated. My mouth goes dry, stomach churning with unease, and as much as I try, I can't look away. Hard sapphire eyes pin me down, as sharply honed as the blades I'd seen him balance on deft fingers, now sheathed conveniently close at hand. I feel exposed beneath his gaze, as predictable as an open book, and so vulnerable that I can't even read what's written on my own pages. I tear my eyes away only when he cocks his head towards the group in the middle of the room, his ears perked and trained on their whispered words. I felt a weakness in myself earlier with June, a weakness in limbs that had been unused for far too long. But now they tremble in relief as the weight of Damon's stare leaves me. When my eyes drift over to him again, his mind seems far away. I find myself wondering what kind of thoughts plague his mind, what memories are racing through it to make him seem so guarded. Shaking my head to clear it, I decide it's best to quit asking questions I'm sure he has no intention of answering. I turn to leave, thoroughly done with this conversation and the way Damon's mood chops and changes as quickly as the view from the cockpit. "Where are you going?" A silky voice stops me in my tracks, and when I look at Damon, it's to find him studying me curiously, as if I were some specimen in a laboratory. "Back to my room?" "But we've only just started having fun. You know what else I'm good at? Finding out what people want. What they really want." He pushes himself away from the wall, stepping toward me with an unnatural feline grace. Well, raspy, silky, there can be some overlap, depending, I think. Yeah, but yeah, the game is not necessarily, yeah, eyebrow waggle. Yeah, I'm just, the game is perhaps not 100% accurate, and also enjoys describing people's lips and a lot, and also using the word cocking as to mean tilting or twisting or angling or so on. But you know, hey, it's a nice little story in a way, despite its little tiny inconsistencies. More eyebrow waggling. Okay, unnatural feline grace. "So tell me, Molly, what is it that you truly desire?" His voice still holds what seems to be a perpetually snarky undertone, but when he asks me that, I don't know. Damon narrows his cold eyes, the look in them clearly unsatisfied with my answer. "Everyone wants something. It's usually dark, twisted, and secretive, but it's what makes us who we are." Yeah, they definitely could have done with a little bit of proofreading again. It's what make us who we are. Okay, well, I have no idea what I want. Liar. I'll find out what it is, sooner or later. His hooded eyes slide up and down my body, leaving a burning trail in their wake. Is he really hitting on me? Good. Okay. This is... it's gonna be okay. Oh, okay, the eyebrow waggling intensifies, especially since we have decided to try to flirt with everyone at first. Good luck. I'd like to see you try. Flirt, or I might like that. Okay, since we have to go with the flirt option, I'd like to see you try. You can try, but I doubt you'll get far. I wouldn't be so sure if I were you. He shifts against the wall, cocking his head to the side curiously. See? The fluorescent lights of the ship casting shadows over his sharp features. Being near Damon feels like being stuck between both ends of a magnet. He pushes you away, only to reel you back in again with the same fiery intensity. It's maddening, exhilarating, maybe more than just a little terrifying. I'm still struggling against the ocean of bewilderment he's drowning me in, desperately fighting to keep my head above water, when his cool fingers grab my chin, tilting my face towards him. I'm always up for a challenge. Do hope you don't disappoint. I swallow thickly, knowing I'm being lured into one of his traps, yet unable to keep the roguish grin from tugging at my lips. I don't miss the way his tongue flicks over his bottom lip, or how his pupils blow wide when those cold eyes hover over my lips, slowly dragging over my features with practiced ease. Okay then. He squeezes my chin, just once, before he drops his hand and relinquishes his hold. My skin burns from the contact, the ghost of his touch lingering a few moments longer, and I find myself quite unable to move, to breathe, to do anything other than stand here dumbly and pretend that my insides don't feel like they're slowly but surely caving inwards. Eventually, I clear my throat, awkwardly willing my limbs to loosen, and Damon chuckles at my attempts to compose myself, his eyes gleaming with the prospect of a challenge. Yes, bad boy drawn all over him in highlighter, I think, and indelible ink. I'm still lost in the moment when footsteps approach, heavy set and clipped, and a gruff voice calls towards us. Resner? Damon rolls his eyes, his lips curling into a smirk as he winks at me, blue eyes glinting with amusement. He steps back slowly, one foot behind the other, and sliding his hands into his pockets, he turns, a shit-eating grin spread across his handsome face. Yes, dear? Is this really the time to be messing around? No, though. That's too close to Damon's voice. I'm trying to think of a good... Is this really the time to be messing around? Damon gasps, holding a hand to his chest in mock offense. Messing around? Me? My commander, I would never. You guys looked so cozy over there. You know, I would never want to intrude. The commander inhales sharply, shutting his eyes and pinching the bridge of his nose in clear annoyance. Why are you? He stops, fixing Damon with his dark stare, one that says, "Don't fuck with me," among other things. You know what? This isn't the time for your bullshit, Damon. I need you to go and do your thing, and tell Bash to get Oppo on the line. We'll be paying a visit. Yes, sir. Damon gives a mock salute, pulling on a pair of black leather gloves, and looking thoroughly unimpressed at being interrupted. He turns back before he leaves the bridge, sparing a single glance over his shoulder. Don't wait up for me. I'm not sure which one of us he's speaking to, and in the end I decide I'd rather not know. With a thick swallow, I turn back to the... Okay, yeah, sorry, both. He was speaking to both of you. Yes, very probably. We'll see. Again, we're hoping for a polycule option. I turn back to the other man, steeling myself against the wrath Damon so generously invoked in him. Damon was unnerving, his own kind of way, but this man is downright terrifying. Tall, rigid, with a scowl so intimidating it makes my blood run cold. Looks like the warm welcome ended with Bash. What are you doing here? Folding his arms over his broad chest, he stares me down, and I try my hardest not to shrink under his glacial glare. Blah. Excuse me? He lets out an exasperated huff of air, his sharp jaw tensing with his frustration. Look, I don't have time to babysit a stowaway. Do us all a favor and keep off the bridge, will you? Who do you think you are, or what else am I supposed to do? Yes, our requisite rigid military man. Hi. Yeah, we know who he thinks he is. He thinks he's the commander. I'm not going to say that. So the other option is, what else am I supposed to do? That's not my problem. June was the one who brought you aboard. Why don't you go and bother him? What? I'm sorry? Did I not make myself clear? Stay out of my way. I blink at him stupidly, attempting to contemplate exactly how one man can be so obnoxious. Play nice now, Cauldron. My eyes flick up over him involuntarily. He has the look of a soldier. Strong jaw, stiff back, stick up his ass about a mile long. Look, I really don't have time for Ayame, get the goddamn ship on course. We are not stopping by the Catalfin ruins. I don't give a shit what time of year it is. The woman barks something at him, and I back away slowly, thinking it's probably best to keep out of his way after all. Barely made it 3 steps before he turns, sapphire eyes landing on me in a cold stare, freezing me in place. You're from Goldus. The way he says it isn't a question, but it catches me off guard nonetheless. What? That's where we picked you up, right? Right. So tell me, do you really think this new guy in power, Zovak, whoops, sorry, is going to be any better than the greedy son of a bitch before him? A flash of anger passes over his features so quickly, I would have missed it if I wasn't looking closely. My eyebrows knit together, confused. Maybe Riona was mistaken about my accident. I feel less like I've taken a blow to the head, and more like I've been dropped into another galaxy entirely. I don't know. He sneers at me, his lips curled cruelly, and immediately I know I've struck a nerve. You don't know? Isn't that what all you Goldians wanted? Fucking liberator. Back off, Captain. The woman, Ayame, warns him, her voice low, but with enough venom coating it to be threatening. Cauldron snorts. He snorts. Sorry. Apparently I need to hydrate again. Yes, I'm literally amnesiac. Yeah, I have no idea what the dude is talking about. Cauldron snorts, ignoring her. Although now I'm so tempted to pronounce that schnorts every single time. How do I know you're not one of his lackeys? Maybe this whole memory loss ploy was a way to get on the ship. You think I want this? To not know who I am? Who knows what you'd say to worm your way into my crew? He takes a step towards me, and it's so intimidating that it takes everything I have not to move a muscle. You're unbelievable. And you're becoming a pain in my ass, so I'm going to ask you one last time. He points a finger at me, and I resist the urge to shove it away. Wonders how to shove Cauldron out of an airlock. Yes, presumably he will redeem himself later, I think, because I believe he is a romanceable person. I can't possibly be this complete, such a complete asshole throughout the entire game. Surely not. Are you working for Jess Zovak? Okay, so our choices are who, or are you always such a dick? I'm sorry, I have to go with, are you always such a dick? His jaw tenses, teeth ground tight. Watch who you're speaking to like that, unless you want to join the goddamn supplies on the wrong side of this cruiser. My chest heaves with my anger, but I hold my tongue. Is the captain, after all, even if his manners leave much to be desired? Know this. Until we reach our destination, all eyes will be on you. Are you always this paranoid? Paranoia is the least of my worries. Zovak is not a man to be trifled with. Well, yes, okay. Perhaps we are a bit dubious, but checking the, choosing the who option probably would have been more logical and smarter. But there comes a point when people are pushing, and you have to push back just a little bit, just a small amount. If you don't like him, then maybe he's not so bad. It only takes a second to know that this was the wrong thing to say. His lips curl back from his teeth, revealing a scowl so venomous my eyes widen. Not so bad? You think murder and deceit and radicalism is not so bad? Depends on the radicalism, honestly. What are we being radical about? Murder and deceit, not so good. Radicalism, depends. His growl echoes straight through me. I inhale sharply, meeting him head on. Zovak, the bastard, forced the Crown Council to name him king, but not before killing the entire royal family. Think about that, will you? King Fenris, the 3 queens, and their 11 children murdered. His eyes are blazing, the fury made obvious by the growl in his voice and the flush on his skin. Now, how about you tell me again how he's not so bad? If you'd led with that, then maybe we could have gotten off to a better start. I mean, hello, character doesn't remember anything, so... Okay, for fuck's sake, Calderon, have you really got to be a raging asshole 98% of the time? She grabs Calderon by the arm, hoisting him back a step while she glares up at him. They're not responsible for the mess we're in. He fixes her with an equally hard stare, the tension between them palpable as he grits out from between clenched teeth. Set the course. No. Yes, he doesn't believe Molly is into spy of whatever politics things is happening. Yeah, but I mean, he could at least. He's still being a dick. She merely rolls her eyes at him, storming back to the cockpit controls. The confusion must show on my face, because when he turns to me again, he lets out a defeated sigh, rubbing a hand over his face tiredly. You really don't remember anything. This is what you could have led with, dear. His voice is surprisingly gentle now, and I shake my head, unable to tear my gaze away from his. Something about those eyes. Cauldron's got a wall around him about a mile high. Not much is obvious, but every now and then there's a flicker of something. If I didn't know better, I'd say it was sadness? He inhales sharply, the red flush of anger melting away as he waves a dismissive hand at me. Whatever. I've got shit to do. Head back to your room. I'll have someone check on you later. I let out an impatient sigh. Agree? Flirt? Walk away? Or provoke him? Flirt? I don't know. He's not fun to provoke. Damon is fun to provoke. But I don't feel like pushing back at Calderon, because he's not fun to spar with. But we have to flirt with everyone, so I will agree flirtily. I'm still reeling after this confrontation, but there isn't any point in prolonging the argument. It's clear this man is as stubborn as a mule. Fine. He grins. And even though it's still intimidating as hell, there's something handsome about it. It catches me off guard, and for a moment I struggle to right myself. Yes, he's obviously got a few hands with the king boy dude. Yeah. No shit, it's sadness. Yes. Yeah. I don't know how close to true your speculations are, Lexi, but would not be surprised at all. So you do have a look of common sense after all. He huffs a laugh and a shiver snakes down my spine. That's more like it. Wait. What did you say your name was? Didn't say, because you didn't ask, you twerp. I didn't, but it's Molly. Yeah, no, yeah. It is a cute shot, yeah. And nobody loses their shit like this unless it's personal. That is true. That's a very good point, Lexi. He gives me a strange look, eyebrow quirked, and then he shakes his head, as if deciding he doesn't care after all. Well, whoever you are, we'll be dropping you off in Terranium once we get there. I suggest you come up with a plan before then. The streets of Nosvega are not kind to the unprepared. Until then, unless you can do something useful, which I highly doubt, stay out of the way. He turns to leave the room, but not before giving me another once-over, sizing me up. I stand there dumbly, watching the captain leave the bridge, his heavy-set footsteps disappearing underneath the hiss of the closing door. Sorry about him. It isn't personal, if that helps. We don't need to apologize, or it's okay. You don't need to apologize for your bastard co-worker. I glare toward the door, his words still rubbing me in all the wrong places. For now. Perhaps moving. No, never mind. Okay. Sorry, back to the story. You're not the one who should be sorry. Ayame laughs, her tone low and disbelieving. You sound just like him. My glare shifts from the door to her, thoroughly unimpressed. Being compared to him is certainly not something I appreciate. I'm sorry, but trust me, I know. Cauldron is complicated, amongst other things. My eyebrows crinkle in confusion, betraying my calm exterior. There's nothing complicated about being civil, or learning some manners in that case. Come on, I saw you talking to Damon before Cauldron came around. He's not exactly Lord of Niceville either. Yeah, but at least he was honest. My eyes fix on her, the truth behind them blunt and unbroken. And he didn't call me useless. She sighs, tugging on a thin braid hanging by her shoulder out of habit. Well, we're all a little cuckoo around here. Try not to let it get to you. Like I said, it's nothing personal. Besides, I can teach you a thing or two, like how to tell them both to take a hike. In more colorful language, of course. She laughs, and my lips curve at the sound. There's something calming about her, something that puts me at ease, and it's a relief to know the ship is not entirely filled with douchebags. I can't help but wonder exactly the nature of her relationship with the captain. They seemed pretty close, after all. The last thing I want to do is pry, so perhaps an indirect approach would be best. Or maybe I shouldn't ask her at all. Why would she disclose her personal life to a stranger? I can hear the links in that brain of yours struggling from here. If you want to ask me something, go ahead. I won't bite. Unless you want me to. She adds the last part with a wink, catching me off guard with her boldness. Well... yes. I don't think she was or they, or he or whatever. I don't think that PC Molly was including June as a douchebag. It was basically just the two most recent people that we've met. And she did say, Ayama did say to ask, so we're going to ask. It's not a big deal, really. I was just wondering if, I mean, you and the captain look close. Are you two... Allowing my voice to draw out, it's almost funny to watch how her expression shifts from that careless confidence into one of utter disbelief. Wow, you want to know if we're a thing? With a laugh bordering hysterical, she runs a hand through her hair, drawing my attention to her face. I glance over the gear attached to the side of her head. It looks advanced, amazingly so, but what really catches my eye are the thin gills on the side of her neck, moving ever so slightly with each breath she takes. She has got gills too, ha ha ha, yay. Catalfin. The feeling of familiarity warms something in me. It's a relief to know I'm not alone out here. We're definitely not a couple. Never. Ew. Gross. She makes a gagging sound before she turns back on me with a crooked grin, completely unfazed. He's more like a lame older brother. We've looked out for each other for as long as I can remember. That makes more sense, actually. I feel a little foolish at having thought otherwise at all. Hang on. You asked me if I'm single before getting my name. And they said I'm the bold one. Well, the grin on her face is so wide, it makes her eyes almost as thin as her gills. I open my mouth to protest, but only to realize there's no argument. I did ask her relationship status before her name. This is awkward. I'm a Yame, and the one who keeps the steel tub on course is yours truly. But please, call me Aya. Ayame just sounds so cauldron, don't you think? She talks so fast there's barely enough time for me to process the information, but find that I like it that way. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to be rude. We are, of course, going to pick one of the flirty options. You don't need a name to get my attention. Or blush, and flirt. I don't know. I'm bad at flirting. Okay, blush. Okay, we'll go with blush. Blush is the less awkward version, I think. Okay. Words fail me as flaming flush makes its way up my neck and face. I blink repeatedly, desperately trying to get some control over my body back. In an attempt to stutter out an apology, I open my mouth, but no sound comes out besides a breath I didn't even realize I was holding. With an extremely smug grin, Aya takes a step forward and pushes my chin up with a finger, closing my gaping mouth. Don't let it hang open. You don't want the cat to get your tongue now, do you? My skin burns where it comes into contact with hers, and I can't explain the effect she has on me. There's just something about Aya, something I'm not likely to forget in a hurry. Sorry, a small slide smiles on my lips. God, Okay. Hydration moment. A small smile slides onto my lips, and I shrug. Maybe I'm a cat person. Aya crooks an eyebrow at me, her smile growing more and more mischievous by the second. Oh, we have a stretch. Oh. Yes, some awkward assonance, indeed. Oh, stretch. Thank you. Oh. Excellent. That was a wonderful reminder. Thank you, Lexi. I'll bet you didn't know I'm a total wildcat at night. I didn't think it was possible, but my face burns even hotter at that. I made it too easy, didn't I? Letting go of my chin with a slight squeeze of her fingers, she lets out a hearty laugh. To tease you? Yes. To make it boring? Hell no. With a groan, I run my hands over my face, trying to push away the flush by force. I'm so going to do that again. A ragged breath tears from my lungs, and I'm torn between being desperate to experience this blush fest again and actually looking forward to the next time. Thinking about that, however, brings back the memory of the captain and his ultimatum. The smile on my face fades as I remember. I can't quite explain why. I hardly know these people, but somehow the thought of being alone in the state I am is somehow terrifying. Hey, what killed your mood? Did you remember something shitty about your past? I wish. Shaking my head, I raise my eyes to meet hers, taking in her subtle concern. No, I'm just not sure how much longer I'll be around. Why's that? You got someplace to go? Well, not particularly, but the captain said you're dropping me off in Terranium when we arrive. Aya's eyebrows almost disappear beneath her hair as she stares at me, a mixture of shock and anger clouding her features. What the? He said he's dropping you off in Terranium? Terranium? Yeah, it is your next stop, isn't it? It's my turn to look confused. I'm pretty sure that's what he said. I couldn't have mistaken the name like that. It is, but do you know anyone in Terranium? Got any place to go? Any plans? I keep shaking my head at her questions, one after the other. My past is still a blur. These people are the only ones I remember knowing. And somehow, I think I've gotten a little attached. And yes, actually starting to get curious about why Spaceship Cockpit has ended up being a meeting point for almost everyone in the ship. Yeah, pilot, captain, and assassin all should be in the cockpit. Yes, exactly. It's in the script. I just go with it. It's fine. With an exasperated huff, Aya throws her hands in the air, starts pacing in front of me. Is he out of his freaking mind? No, he must have lost it completely, or completely lost it now. Biting my lip, I hold her by the arm to stop her from burning a hole in the floor with the intensity of her pacing. It's okay. I can take care of myself. I'll just ask around, get a job or something to keep me going while I try to get my life in order. It's fine, really. The last thing I want is to cause trouble for one of the few people who've been so kind to me. They've already saved my life. It's not right to ask for more from them. Aya stops, pulling her bottom lip between her teeth before she turns to me. It's not fine. A job in Terranium? Fending for yourself in that place where you don't even know your last name. Shaking her head, she puts a hand on my shoulder, looking me dead in the eye. I start to understand a little of how she manages to keep a pair like Damon and Calderon in check. Look, don't worry about that. I'm not going to let that dumbass leave you stranded in. The hissing sound of the pressure door opening up next to us interrupts Aya. Molly, didn't I tell you to get some rest? Startled by the stern voice, I turn to find a very annoyed doctor, her hands on her hips and her foot tapping expectantly. What's all this fuss about, anyway? Sorry, we were talking, and then I found some dumbass is thinking of doing something even dumber. I lost my cool, Rye. Riona's expression melts when she notices my confusion, her eyes settling on Aya with an almost maternal fondness. Then you go and deal with it, Aya. Please, don't drag Molly along with you. They need to rest. Now. A sheepish smile on her face, Aya squeezes my shoulder once more before walking to the door. Aye, aye, on it. And then she adds, quite enough for only me to hear, you'd better do what the doc says. You don't want to see her when she's mad. Her footsteps fade as she skips down the hall, and Riona offers me an apologetic smile. Don't worry about her. I'm not even sure what she's talking about. True, I think she was upset about me being in Terranium, but I can't really tell why. I don't think any of us do most of the time. But enough chit-chat. You need to rest. Come on. Her smile is soft, but the firmness of her voice makes it clear that I don't have a choice in the matter. So, answering with a smile of my own, I follow her away from the bridge. My body is still sore enough to be a bother. My legs have grown stiff from traipsing around the ship the past few hours. I didn't notice it so much as I was talking with everyone, but resting doesn't sound half bad. After hours of lying in bed, tossing and turning, I finally admit that I'm not going to be able to get any sleep, and settle instead for pacing the small room. My mind is stuck in an endless loop, sprinting 1,000 miles an hour. And the harder I try to think about my past, the harder my head pounds against my skull. Your brain, I'm thinking, probably pounding against the skull, but either that or maybe sort of an implosion thing. I'm not even going to... Okay, not going to try to figure that one out. Nothing feels right. I'd hate to think what Riona would do if she saw me burning myself out like this, but can't help it. Especially now that I need to come up with a plan for when we get to Terranium. I don't remember much of the junket planet, like everyone else, but I know it's not a good place to be alone. Gambling dens, arenas, bars, strip clubs. What exactly am I supposed to do in a place like that? It was easy to joke about starting a new life earlier, but now it's sounding a lot more daunting. Heaving a sigh, I eventually give up the pacing and drop down on the bed, crossing my arms behind my head and staring up at the metal ceiling, counting the bolts and rivets above me. My head shoots up at the sound of a knock on the door, and I push myself off the bed and walk over to open it. It's... We get to choose who is visiting us. Okay, do we want Cranky Pants Captain, Cranky Pants Assassin, Doctor, lovely, calm, soothing Dr. Riona, Aya, who is energetic and flirty, Bash, who is engineering and flirty, or June, who is soft boy with a gun. Apparently multiple guns that he likes to whip out and show people. I honestly, I don't If anyone has any preferences, speak now. Riona, yeah, Riona is probably my personal preference, but I'm fine with any of them, honestly, because I do want to play through all of the characters all at once. So we have one. Um, okay, June. So we have one Riona, one June, and Riona. Okay, so two for Riona, and I'm think. Okay, so I'm kind of we may be going with Riona. Um, okay, I don't think that we will be locked in at this point because it's still chapter one. But okay, I'm going to go. Yeah, the doctor. Yeah. Well, okay, Riona or Ayame, actually. I mean, probably if for my own playthrough, I would probably go for Ayame, but um, Riona is definitely appealing as well. Um, and June and Bash, and kind of vaguely intrigued by Damon just simply because I just like in a game to be able to poke at at someone and have them poke back and it basically be a teasing sort of relationship if you can get to that. But Damon may be a little bit potentially iffier. Uh, why Alexia has bad at dating sense. Too curious about what would happen if she chooses various things. Yes, definitely. Okay, we are going to go with Riona. And I will save Ayame for off-stream playthroughs. Not that way. Not that way. Purely platonic and friendly. Perhaps with a bit of flirting, but that's okay. Uh, I know, I know. I should be resting. She giggles softly, and I find the sound surprisingly delightful. And yes, you should. I smile, gesturing for her to enter the room. And I'm sorry we couldn't find you more comfortable quarters, but, well, this is about as comfortable as things get on the A6. I shake my head at the sentiment, giving her space to enter the room and letting the door slide shut behind her. She shuffles through the small space, her hands clasping a tray full of food and bundle of clothes, which she sets on the empty desk. She's so gentle, so beautiful. But there's also something else about her, some hidden strength lingering under the surface of luminescent skin. The room is just fine. I won't be needing it long anyway. Oh? The captain made it quite clear that I'll be dropped like cargo as soon as we reach Geranium. And what will you do then? Honestly, I have no idea. I let out a heavy sigh, sitting on the edge of the small bed. Her question catches me off guard, and the floodgate of confusion opens up on me. It's only been hours since I woke up on the Andromeda 6, but after everything that's already happened, it feels like a lifetime. Ironic when you consider my memory of that life only began this morning. Something about Riona that makes me trust her. Makes me want to tell her things that I didn't even know myself. Where do I even start? Riona's face drops, and I sense she's searching for an answer. Any answer. But we both know that there's nothing. I shrug, trying to pass it off as nothing. I don't want to worry her any more than she already is. Caldron seems to think I'm from Goldus. Maybe I should try to find a way back there. That might not be the best idea. Goldus is in ruins. The royal family slain? A usurper on the throne? Huh. Such a spacehead, I swear. I have something that might help you. Whoops. Whoops. That is my alarm to announce that it's 15 minutes before Chrono's stream. So, Chrono, if you need to head out, then, or if you haven't already headed out, then we shall see you soon. Sorry, I've completely forgot about that alarm there, the reminder. Okay. Riona slips a hand in the pockets of her dress, pulling out a small spherical object. Wednesday? Are you not supposed to be streaming in 15 minutes or so? Okay. Okay, everything is set up. All right. Well, I have reminders for Drut streams and night streams and Chrono streams and basically, the regularly occurring streams so that I will not get lost in whatever I'm doing and accidentally miss things because I'm really, really bad about getting immersed in whatever I'm doing and then not remembering. Oh, no, all of you are wonderful. I'm not on top of things and I'm not organized. This is so that I don't forget things, because if I were organized, I would actually remember things properly. Sorry. Okay. We have Riona pulls out a small spherical object. Not what you're thinking, probably. She holds it toward me. It glows unexpectedly against the palm of her hand. What is it? I thought you might know. Organized? What's that word? Right there with you, Nid. Shaking my head, I reached for the object, feeling the cool touch of metal on my fingertips. June found it on you when he brought you aboard. I thought it might help you remember? I examined the object in my hand. It's small enough to hold in one palm. Bash says it's made of catalphenite. It's an extremely rare metal and valuable. Whoever you truly are, must be someone of great status. It's beautiful, isn't it? I don't know why, but something about it feels sad. It must have a story behind it. I'm only partly listening to Fiona now, mesmerized instead by the small box in my hand. There's a kind of power about it, some low, thrumming energy running over my skin, desperate for release. Everything about it feels familiar, feels as if guided by some distant memory. I close my palm over the sphere, squeezing once before releasing it slowly. The first few notes of a tune tinkle from the sphere as it opens, and my eyes snap to Riona's, her face just as dumbfounded as my own. It's a music box. The inside of the sphere is an intricate maze of metal, moving cogs, neon lights, and sizzling energy. And my eyes are mesmerized by the movement as it plays its slow, sad lullaby. The tinkling notes echo through the room, each as hauntingly familiar as the last. It's almost cruel how it caresses the edges of my memories, taunting me to remember faces and names that are no longer there. My heart tugs at the hopelessness of it all, and another sharp pain shoots through my head. With my teeth clenched tight against the pain, it's only now, when I feel the wetness on my cheeks, that I realize I'm crying. But why am I crying? The music box hasn't triggered any memories in me, only feelings. Sadness and longing so strong it makes my heart ache. The melody ends, and for a long time after, neither of us says a word. until Fiona breaks the silence, her voice barely more than a whisper. Anything? I blink a couple of times, my eyes focusing on the woman in front of me. She holds my gaze, and for the first time, I notice that they too are brimming with unshed tears. Her eyes, that is. I swallow thickly, and it pains me to shake my head. Nothing, or will I ever remember? She can't answer that, but I gives her the possibility to say, I hope. Going with will I ever remember. Do you think... I hesitate, the words stuck in my throat. I don't want them to be true. They can't be true. Do you think I'll ever remember? Fiona starts to take a step towards me, but then stops, as if she's thought better of it. I wish I had answers for you. I truly do. But the brain is a complicated organ. There are a trillion different connectors that make it work. And yet, if only a few of them are damaged, it can take time for them to repair themselves. Her eyes follow the trail of my fingers, closing the music box with a soft click. It pulses in my hand, sad, sweet melody still echoing through me. However, the scans I took showed that physically there was no damage. The medic in me believes that I must have missed something, but I know I didn't. There may be another reason. Emotional trauma can be just as destructive as physical. True that. I don't understand. Perhaps something happened, something that was so traumatic that whatever it was made your brain shut down, cut off the chemicals that recall your long-term memories. Whoop! I don't understand. Oh, fuck. Okay, there we go. How do I fix it? Or how do I fix it? Your brain needs to be rewired. Familiar places, sounds, feelings, anything that can trigger what your mind is suppressing. Oh, I really, really would like to send back a proofread version of this game, but we know what they intend, even when they make typos. I know we've only just met, but I want to help you, if you'll let me. But how? Cauldron wants me off the ship. Don't you worry about the captain. I know how to deal with him. Get some rest before I'm forced to slip a sleeping draft into your dinner. My mouth drops in mock horror, though she only giggles. Good night, Molly. The door slides closed, before I get the chance to reply, but I'm too tired to yell. With a heavy sigh, I lie down on my bed, holding the music box up above me, and then I drop it in my face. No, the metal glints in the fluorescent light. I vaguely recall hearing of catalphenite before. It's a metal that was found on Catalpa before it was destroyed, mined from deep below the watery surface in the ocean caves. That explains its pearlescent shine. Why do you feel so familiar? And we have initials in LP. Music box or sci-fi Pokeball? Why not both? I speak out loud, squinting as something catches my eye within the intricate detailing. There's an engraving on it. NLP. What does it mean? Feeling the exhaustion weighing on me, I decide the question can wait. Opening the music box once more, I set it beside me on the bed, watching the dance of the lights and gears as the tinkling melody lulls me to sleep. My eyes grow heavy, so heavy, and I'm pulled under by the weight of my exhaustion. Wavering on the brink of dreams and reality, I hear it. A sweet, strong voice. Familiar. So familiar. Be strong, Molly. Be safe. You're a fighter, a survivor. The day where I have to leave you will come sooner than we both know. Promise me. Don't give up. Who are you? What? Why can't I remember you? Why does it feel like I miss you when I can't even... I'm sorry. I miss you too. And that is the end of episode 1. And that actually comes out about at the right time. I think I'm going to call it there. However, we've got a few... Okay, we are going to need to save so we do not continue on with the game. I would like to continue this in future. Oh, thank you, Jazzy. I appreciate that so much. That's so sweet of you. Thank you. And I mean, I'm okay. We're taking a moment for hydration to reset brain. Thank you so much. That's really, really appreciated. I hope that this has been at least slightly interesting for people. I have enjoyed this. I look forward to maybe alternating between Wildermyth and this, because I love Wildermyth, but I want to see where this story goes, and actually I want to follow pretty much at least 75% of all of the storylines as well, because people are rather endearing in many ways. Still not completely sold on Caldron, but I'm sure he's got to warm up and be less of an asshole at some point, right? I think. But anyway, thank you for hanging out with me while I revisit this really rather cool little indie story game. I've been having a lot of fun. I hope that it's been at least decent background noise for all of you. I will be returning, let's see, Saturday morning my time, like probably about 9. I've got a haircut on Saturday, so I know I need to leave at some point for that. I will be streaming it on Saturday at some point, though. I don't know which time. I will probably, I will mention it in Discord channel. I think everyone here is familiar with the Discord channel or the Discord server. So new Molly. Well, it'll just be reasonably shorter probably. Although I want to kind of leave the length on top, and maybe just kind of clean up the back. Gosh, yeah, my hair is. It needs tidy. Oh, thank you for the hair dye compliments. I need to refresh it because it's all fading. But I do have more dye now, so we shall see what interesting color combinations I can come up with. I am very excited about that. But thank you again for everyone. I'm sort of, for hanging out with me. I am kind of killing time a little bit because I was going to raid Chrono's stream just for convenience purposes. Because, oh, Chrono just went on. Excellent. Then I am going to do the raidy thing because I think that would be a convenient way to deliver everyone over to his channel. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. It has been wonderful. I will get Wildermyth back up and running. It's just if it will stop crashing every time I finish that one battle. But with luck, though, hopefully, yes, the hydration thing. With luck, though, I will be able to finish that battle in Wildermyth and be okay. Be okay. Oh, bye. Well, no, not bye now. Okay, we have we have too many countdowns for the raid. Okay. Hopefully finishing the battle in Wildermyth. Hopefully making it through without Riggs dying. That would be ideal. I just need to make it so the game doesn't crash. In the meantime, I shall be returning to Andromeda 6 soon, and let's all go over to say hi to Chrono and the more professional stream. Thank you again. Take care. And we need to go. Boop.